This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On Air.
Well, hello there, lovely humans. Welcome and thanks for tuning in to the Sleep Lab Stories. I'm Liesl Mitchell, a person with narcolepsy and a fascination with sleep. We all do it, but do we talk about it? Stay tuned as we chat to anyone and everyone about their weird, wonderful, and just plain normal sleep stories. And welcome everyone. So nice to have you here, and thanks for tuning in for some sleep storytelling today. Do you think you sleep better all alone or with others? I had a conversation recently with someone just the other day, and they said sleep is a really private thing, isn't it? And I guess depending on the context, the culture, and the circumstances, many people will either sleep alone in a bed or maybe with one other person, and sometimes with kids and pets. So yes, in general, your sleep is something that very few people know anything about. However, it wasn't always like this, and some cultures still maintain communal sleeping, where extended family all sleep together in one room on mattresses or mats on the floor. And I imagine this has made sense for a whole lot of reasons over time, such as safety, warmth, and the practicality of space. So I also imagine that as houses have kind of become designed with separate bedrooms for sleep for the general public, not just the rich and famous, and got filled with furniture and beds that don't sit on the floor anymore, it has reduced the number of people that can roll out the sleep mats and mattresses and share the room together. So I've been thinking about this, and my feeling is that being surrounded by a whole lot of people while you all sleep is probably quite comforting. I wonder why it became a fashionable idea to sleep alone. And I just wonder what your thoughts might be. And I'm sure my guest today will have some thoughts to share about this too. So let's get into that good stuff. I'm delighted to be introducing a super rad human to the story seat today. He's laughing, but it's true. Super rad human. Richard is with me today, or RH as he's known to me.
Hello.
Hello, that's him. How lovely to have you here. And we're going to tell some sleep stories together.
Sure.
Welcome. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. So I will let you know, RH and I have never had any trouble telling each other stories. Always true, mostly true. Yeah, good stories anyway. And this is not surprising because we met through the storytelling world of theatre way back in the 90s, last century. I just want to say that. I love saying that. Last century. I feel so young and yet so old when I say that. Richard has also been known to weave stories into production as an accomplished writer, director and actor. He is a citizen of the world, which comes across in his wide range of interests and knowledge about life. I would describe RH as a thinker and coffee drinker, which is my attempt at poetry for today. And I just found out he loves the world of dreaming, as in what happens when we sleep, and is a fan of vanilla. And when I heard that, I wasn't sure whether it was vanilla anything. But ice cream, we were talking about ice cream.
Yeah.
Vanilla
flavoured anything.
Vanilla flavoured anything. Fabulous.
Yeah.
And as always, I am very interested in talking to you today and whatever might emerge in our conversation. So welcome, kia ora, and fab to have you here.
Yeah, kia ora. Hi.
Yay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, baby, let's do it. And before we go any further, this is my first question I always ask. I am curious, what you said yes to me, and what is it about sleep that intrigues you? Put you on the spot right away.
It's half our lives.
It's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time. And I think for me, going back to something that you said in the introduction, is that for about 40 years now, I've been a prolific dreamer, as in I dream when I sleep, and those dreams are meaningful to me. And so it feels like when I sleep, and particularly when I dream, which is pretty much every day, I'm living. So, yeah, sleep to me is not just the absence of life, it's a continuation of my life under slightly different circumstances, that's all.
I love the way you put that. That's so cool because I think a lot of people sort of talk about sleep like it's a time that doesn't exist. But yeah, living life under slightly different circumstances.
Well, yeah, I can
Horizontal.
remember dreams back to when I was 9, 10 years old.
Right.
And the more recent ones in the last 40 years, I can recall hundreds of them. And they don't just mean one thing. They've continually sort of either spontaneously or by effort, when I revisit them, they mean more. They mean different things.
Right.
I think for me, I suppose you can take a dream and you can give it meaning. Or dreams just become part of how you find meaning in life, which is a slightly different thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you think you do both of those things?
Yeah. I think like everyone probably who's connected with dream interest, I probably, started imposing meaning on my dreams by thinking about them as symbols or, they refer to this and I refer to that. But as they've gathered, hundreds of them in my life, I just had to stop that and just go, well, yeah, they create their own meaning and they create meaning for me and I incorporate that into my conscious life. I mean, I see dreams as essentially my connection with my unconscious, my inner self. So, yeah, it's like the two parts of me are connected.
Great. That actually just right there, I just suddenly felt like, oh, you've just made sense of sleep. Because of course we need a way to sort of connect to our sort of inner world, our thinking, our unconscious sort of life, I guess, and sleep is a pathway. It's a gateway. It's and maybe we don't always access it. Maybe not everyone knows how to access it, but it's there. And that's one explanation that feels quite, made a lot of sense to me just in that moment.
Well, it's an explanation that through religion, through psychology, through mythology has been around since humans have been reflecting upon their own experiences. It's an experience, the idea of dreaming and dreams being meaningful and that self that you are at that time being part of a broader sense of who you are as a person is, well, yeah, it's a very fundamental human concept.
Yes.
Most cultures and most societies have something to say about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think we're meaning-making machines, aren't we? And when there's kind of life that we don't completely understand in the form of sleep, I guess the people who really love to search for meaning, that's an amazing spot to start looking because it's quite mysterious and it's connected to things we don't truly understand. And it's a world of mystery and excitement.
Yeah, and I think the other side of sleep for me, you might say, and it goes, I think, to something you're bringing up in your introduction, talking about sleeping together, is I was thinking about this as I was coming here today. It's just you can look at sleep not only as a kind of personal biological thing that you individually do, it is one way in which we relate to others. Because we sleep with other people, whether that's directly, in a bed with another person or in the space with other people, and when you have a child, when you have a baby, you are wearing them, you are often holding them when they're asleep. So our sense of being is often shared in sleep. I mean, that's contradictory because, we're not meant to have much consciousness when we sleep, but we do have a lot, quite obviously. So, it's one way of sharing our sense of being. And I know that in the latter part of my mother's life, when I was spending time with her in the last 6 months of our life, I was often reading to her and just being with her. And often she was asleep. And I'd think, oh, should I go? Should I stay? But in the end, I'd always just stay because I realized that she liked me being there when she went to sleep. She liked me being there when she woke up. She just liked someone knowing that there was someone there. So sleep became an interesting part of our life together at that particular time. It was the way that her being and my being found a kind of different sort of relationship. And when I think about seeing, the time when she died, I was going to visit her the morning that she passed, and I got there 10 minutes after she died. So it was interesting because I walked into the room and it just looked like she was asleep. And I think all that time that I'd spent with her, not needing to talk, but just be with her, really helped at that moment. Because I did. Her body was still warm and she was relaxed. She looked peaceful, and it just looked like what I knew her to be previously. So,
wow.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That's a really beautiful sort of story. And I think there was something in that as you were speaking that I'm like, isn't it kind of this wonderful circle of life where she would have been present for you when you were a baby and sleeping a lot, like you were saying, holding babies as they fall asleep on you. So she would have been with you when you fell asleep and then when you woke up.
Yeah.
And you were doing the same for her. And that's a really beautiful gift that both of you probably gave each other.
Yeah, I think so. And again, it's so normal and it's so natural.
Isn't it?
You don't need to write a book about it. You don't have to think. It's just there because, again, when I was thinking about being on the show, I was thinking about my very first memory of anything is being held. Obviously, I had fallen asleep somewhere in the lounge. I was probably 2 or 3 years old, and I'd been picked up and then taken to bed. But I remember that during that time when I was picked up and taken to bed, I woke up, and I remember being held and laying against, I think it was my father's shoulder. So it's just that moment of, well, when you wake up, when you're asleep sometimes, it does feel quite nice. I mean, it's quite relaxed. And and that's one of my first, it is my first memory of being held and relaxed and being comforted, and it's sleep.
Gosh, yeah. And like you say, it is such a everyday, every night, natural thing that we do. And that sort of sense of you're not doing it alone. And at some level, it's this weird idea that you go to bed in the dark or you go to sleep in the dark, and so is just about everyone else in your community, you may not know them and you may not, know they're asleep, but everything stops and it all quietens and most of us are asleep. And it's this strange kind of like if you just turned up on the planet with no knowledge of humans or what was going on and you're like, nothing's happening. Like, what's this? It's this collective, everyone lies down and closes their eyes and seemingly goes somewhere else. It's quite odd, but fascinating. Gosh. Yeah, I just suddenly had this apocalyptic kind of, I've arrived, I'm here, and it's like, what's everyone doing? They're all,
I don't know, in many respects you could say that is the most human thing that we do, because at that particular point we are vulnerable, we're at our most trusting, we kind of are most accepting about sort of who we are in terms of our humanness. Because I was just something I've noticed from having to watch the performing body year after year after year as a director and a teacher about, how bodies create movement and performance, that the sleeping body is really interesting. It's a very honest body.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I think, and like I sort of said in that introduction, like we don't share it that much, or we're not aware of our sharing. And I think because most people around us are asleep too in that same moment, even if we wake slightly, it's sort of drowsy and, the snoring beside you or the dribbling or the farting or whatever it might be. It's sort of just, oh yeah, back to sleep, I'll do that too. It's very basic and lovely and natural, like you say. There's nothing, no one's pretending to be anything else, are they?
No, and all those layers of pretense that we create for ourselves to just live with others, which are necessary. I'm not saying that they're not, but, they're just put to one side and something else is revealed about your being. And it's, for the most part, I've always thought that aesthetically, I suppose you could say, that the sleeping body is very beautiful. And also I think it says, again, if you look at the notion of kind of how you relate to each other, and I haven't thought this through in any detail, but when I think about various relationships I've had, close personal relationships, partners, I could probably make a connection to how we slept together in relationship to the other things that went on in our relationship. Our sleeping patterns in a bed as two people were probably quite telling in relationship to everything else. And I can't go any further because I haven't really given it much thought. I mean, I'd be happy to.
Yeah. No, that's a really, it's made me start to think as you said that. Yes, I think that probably does tell some stories in itself. Yeah.
And I mean, maybe you could abstract those things out into various kind of patterns of psychological and emotional relationships and saying, if you sleep this way, maybe you're this type of couple. I mean, that would be nonsense, but interesting nonsense.
Yeah. And possibly some truth somewhere in there as well to draw from.
Well, I think so. And because I think it was in your first episode with Sarah, you were talking about sleep divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking about that idea and actually it just made me sad, to tell you the truth. I just went, that's a sad thing. That people have not, people have given up the intimacy of sleeping together, because it's a very personal and it's a very intimate and honest thing. And you go, well, there's a thing, isn't it, when you kind of give up intimacy?
Well, it's like that whole, we don't sleep as collective families anymore.
No.
We're slowly sort of eroding some of that stuff, and I think that's worth contemplating. And maybe we contemplate that for a moment while I just take a break and give a word to our sponsor.
Okay.
Need a caffeine hit? Head to Grid Coffee Roasters, right in the heart of Mornington. Whether you're looking for a delicious flat white, refreshing peppermint tea, a last-minute gift, or some freshly roasted coffee beans, we have you covered. See you soon at 172 Eglinton Road. Follow us on Facebook at Grid Coffee Roasters.
And we're back with the Sleep Lab stories and sitting here having a wonderful chat with RH, Richard. My RH, that's what I say, isn't it?
It certainly is LM.
LM and RH, yeah. No one needs to know who we are other than that, just incognito. But yeah, having some really thoughtful conversation about sleep. And I wondered if you'd be open to maybe using one of the cards to prompt another trajectory on our sleep conversation, or we can keep going with what we're doing.
Let's try a card.
Should we try a card?
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Good.
Open?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
They're right in front of you. Grab one of those. Oh, look at you. You went to the middle. Nobody has ever done that before. Richard, you've messed with my system.
Good. All systems need to be messed with.
I'm just pausing here, people.
Yeah.
My little picture's just been broken, but it's okay. Richard.
Do you know any good fall asleep tips? Do share! !
I love your reading of my card. That is the face. Not that you can see the face, but I see the face of someone thinking deeply.
I think they're probably all the sort of standard things.
Mm. Do you have trouble falling asleep?
No.
So
I like falling asleep listening to music. And I'm one of those people who likes falling asleep reading.
Okay, yep.
So maybe the tip is that it's good to have So you don't focus on your body. It's just grab something, gentle or something that sort of makes your mind unwind and to drift off before your body drifts off. And I think a lot of those tips, a lot of those things are about, allowing your mind to unwind before your body drifts. Because I don't do looking at screens before going to sleep because it just winds me up and I can't get to sleep. So, I like reading, listening to some form of gentle music.
That is, I love what you said about letting your mind drift off before your body does? Was that the order?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes me think about kind of the jet lag idea of people saying, your body arrives before your spirit does, or your soul's left somewhere else or something. I was just thinking, because if your body's tired and it falls asleep, but your brain's still switched on, I mean, you've got a really wild disconnect there, haven't you? So I like that, letting your mind fall asleep before your body.
I think so.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, my gosh. I think we can all go home now.
Okay.
That's it done.
It's all done.
The magic has happened, people.
Yeah.
But no, okay, we'll do another card. Let's do another card because Richard, oh my gosh, he's taken it from the middle again. Okay, so this might mean that people are hearing cards that they've heard before. That's all I'm saying. But Richard will have a different answer, so it doesn't matter.
We have kind of already broached this subject. This one
we?
is, would you rather share a bed or sleep alone?
Okay.
Why? ?
Okay, well, it's very much on topic.
Well, I think in the end I'd like to share a bed.
Yeah.
I've always not found that a particular problem. I've always enjoyed it in actual fact. And one of my kind of preferences in terms of sleeping, particularly with partners, is, spooning. How can you not do that? And
don't you get too hot?
No.
Do you get hot? No?
No, I don't sleep with pajamas, so.
Yeah, but that actually can make it worse, though. If you're two bodies right beside each other, that can actually be very, isn't that the hypothermia, kind of go-to? You get naked. It's important to have skin on skin, and then you get hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I've always just found it relaxing.
Yeah, well, it's a very lovely position to sort of just feel held, actually, to be held or hold someone.
Yeah. And one thing I discovered with one partner was that we always used to starting sleep on a particular side, like left or right. Mm-hmm. But both of us used to just turn over, left, right during the night. And we figured out quickly that we just did it in tandem. Oh. When she turned, I turned. When I turned, she turned. And we kind of just realised that actually we were doing this all night back and forth because neither of us slept on our backs, you see.
So did you stay sort of fairly spooned, for the night? Wow, you're like otters that like join hands so you don't float away.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh.
We could call that otter sleeping. Yes, Lisa, we did otter sleeping
last night, yes. We stayed connected. That is amazing. But isn't that cool that people can align like that? Like you're asleep, but you stay somehow connected to each other. Like that is very cool.
Well, I think it goes back to that notion that I was thinking about earlier, and I haven't given it great thought, but it's like it does kind of suggest that there is a relationship going on when you sleep next to another body. It's not just an empty space. Yeah. I think, again, when I was sort of just contemplating that whole shared space sleeping versus being alone, I started thinking we spend all this time in our lives asleep. And if we're not sharing that space with other humans, even though we're asleep, we're effectively sort of denying ourselves that connection. And maybe there's something really, really good about you get replenished in a different way by being in connection with other bodies and other humans. That you don't get when you're wide awake, but it's still that connection. Like, why are we denying ourselves that? I don't know.
No, Richard.
Well,
that was the big question of today that you were meant to answer.
Okay, here's your answer. This is kind of my go-to answer for any of the great whys of human behaviour. Is that particularly the dumb things we do, we're just stupid. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know.
Fundamentally.
fundamentally stupid.
Yeah, which is why we're quite adorable as well, I think. Humans, I have a very warm, special, soft spot for human beings. When you say stupid, I'm just like, aren't we all?
Aren't we all
Yeah.
that way? Isn't it wonderful, our stupidities? The card actually just reminded me of another memory, if you don't mind me saying.
We've maybe got about 20 seconds to do it. Let's do it.
No, leave it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not at 20 seconds.
We'll leave people hanging.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Do get in touch if you want to know more about Richard's memory, because I'll ask him after we finish this. But actually, we are at the end of our wonderful storytelling session, which always surprises me because it does go very quickly. But thank you, RH.
Thank you, Liesl.
You're a rock star, of course. But those were some very thoughtful comments and stories, and really appreciate you coming in.
I appreciate being here. Thank you.
Yay!
Yay.
Hey, well, that's it from this place, from this time, from this space. I say something like this at this point. But this is the Sleep Lab Stories, and thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening to The Sleep Lab Stories. Big shout out to Grid Roasters, generous sponsors of this podcast and makers of great coffee. To the awesome OAR FM, thank you for making it all happen. Like and follow The Sleep Lab Stories at oar.org.nz and at all your fave podcast platforms. You can find me and the latest sleep info at thesleeplab.nz. Take care, sleep well, and catch you next time.
This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.